We are making this amazing meatloaf. I promise you will never look at minced beef again. Enough with the minced beef stew. This is now what we're going to be doing with ground beef. For this meatloaf, this is what we're going to need. Here I have 1 kilo of minced meat or ground beef. I have 2 tablespoons of molasses mixed with brown sugar or just generally brown sugar. I have a tablespoon of onion powder, or you can chop up an onion, that's up to you. I have 2 eggs. I have 1 cup of ketchup. I've got 4 tablespoons of mustard. I've got 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce and 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs. I also have some salt and 2 cups of milk and some olive oil. My oven is preheating at 200 degrees centigrade. So the first thing is I'm going to lightly oil 2 loaf pans. My recipe is for 2 meatloaves. If you want to make 1 meatloaf, you can just half the recipe. But as I always say, if you're going to use your oven, might as well double the recipe because it takes the same amount of energy to make 2 as it does 1. That's done. Set them aside. Now we mix. So into your beef, you're going to put in your breadcrumbs. All right. You're going to put in your chopped onions or your onion powder, up to you, or both. You're going to put in your salt. This is so simple, guys. You will be wondering why you never discovered this before. Okay. I feel that's enough. And you put in your Worcestershire sauce. We're cracking our 2 eggs. And lastly, our 2 cups of milk. But don't put in the milk all the way. First, put a little bit and mix, okay? You know what? Let me use my hands. So you want to be keen to just mix until everything is incorporated, but do not overmix. It's kind of like the same thing with meatballs. Don't overmix. Mix just enough for it to stick. Add some more milk. We don't want it to be too dry. That's good. You guys, it is as simple as that. So now we are going to take this mixture and put it into our 2 loaf pans. So just put it in your pan. Half in one pan, half in the other pan. Or if yours is bigger, you can just, avoid the pan altogether. So I'm just flattening the surface. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our glaze. So to mix the glaze, just take your ketchup, put it in a bowl, and you will take your mustard, mix it in, and then put in your brown sugar. All right. And the brown sugar, by the way, is very optional because ketchup already has its own sugar. It just sort of gives it that extra oomph. Mix this nicely. And then now we are going to spread this over our meatloaves. And we are going to bake them in the oven at 200 degrees centigrade for 1 hour 15 or 1 hour 20. At least until your meat is well done through and through. It's no longer pink, okay? Because my meatloafs are not so deep, I could even make do with maybe 1 hour 5 minutes, but I'll keep checking. You guys, this glaze is where it's at, man. So I'm just going to divide it into two. One for here, and one for this smaller one. You can increase, by the way, your glaze if you like. So just spreading it out. So that's done. And it is so important to make sure that your oven is really well preheated, like completely hot, so that your meatloaf can cook really well. Boom. It is a moment of truth. Like, have you seen this? Come, take a look. Take a look at this, man. And those vegetables are just what it needs. If you have to have a side, you can have some fantastic mashed potatoes. But even this way, I think this is just, the place is smelling so good, you guys. One thing I will say is, keep checking on your meatloaf. Don't let it go beyond 30 minutes. Check on it every 30 minutes or so, because mine was this close to burning. So yeah, just check on it. Don't just put it in your oven and go off and do your things. But now I'm eager to taste this. What? Ooh-wee. It's very well cooked on the inside. It smells delicious. Oh my gosh, this glaze. What? You have to try this. Oh my goodness. What? Beautiful. Beautiful, man. And the vegetables are still crunchy. We just blanch them for like 5 minutes, and then we fry them as you saw in some butter, some onion if you have. Beautiful. One thing I've been procrastinating on for the longest time is cleaning my room windows and especially the curtains. And so before I show you the next minced beef dish, I just want to get this going, put them into the washer, because the best thing about it is that, sometimes the things we procrastinate about, sometimes, I feel like kicking myself. Like, I've been procrastinating about this, honestly, for months. Let me just be honest. And it took me literally 20 minutes to get it done. You wonder, okay, month versus a job that took me 20 minutes. It's embarrassing, honestly. So if there's that one thing that you have been procrastinating on in your life, this is your sign to just go ahead and do it, okay? And if you're interested in the laundry pods and in the scent boosters, which makes your curtain very clean, just check out the link below. So the reason why I thought this would be a good video to make is because sometimes I get stuck in a rut making the same old meals the same old way, and so I'm out exploring various ways and simple recipes that I can make with the same simple ingredients that I have in my house. Because sometimes it's not about buying fancy schmancy ingredients, it's just about using what you have but being creative about it, you know. So what I'm making here is I'm making a cottage pie, which basically involves having some mashed potatoes on the side and then making this sort of minced beef stew, but then I'm going to combine them together and bake them in the oven. I'm excited for this because again, same ingredients, nothing new here, but it comes out smelling so good and just tastes amazing. And fun fact is, the cottage pie has beef, but the shepherd's pie has lamb. So yeah. I would also like you guys to let me know what other ways, creative ways, do you use minced beef for. Another recipe that I was planning to make but ran out of time is, of course, a beef burger, because again, it's the same old thing, just minced beef but made in a new and fun way for my family. So I'm going to make time for that. I have made a chicken burger before, which we absolutely adored, and I believe I've made a beef burger before, but for some reason I can't quite remember. Anyway, that's another way also to use your minced beef. Let me know what other recipes that you use your minced beef for, and yeah, let's just keep inspiring each other. When you're cooking meals for your family, do you always, like me, have just that one child who is like your shadow in the kitchen? Because my daughter is like that. I love it so much. We get to do so many fun things together. For the boys, I have to sort of like encourage them to join me in the kitchen, but my daughter is my shadow, and yeah, I'm excited for that. One thing I don't want our kids to grow up with is just thinking that only ladies can cook, so I really try to encourage the boys to join me. But I'm telling you, it just doesn't come naturally, and I'm okay with that, but I'm not going to give up because it doesn't come naturally. Everybody needs to learn to cook in this house. How smooth do these mashed potatoes look? I mean, wow, look at this. It came off looking so good. Smells amazing. So our banana is ripe. Look at that. The birds are eating it faster than we can harvest, so we need to harvest it today. Unfortunately, it didn't grow very big this year. We forgot to add fertilizer. So they're kind of like the size of sweet bananas, but whatever size they are, we do need to bring it down before the birds finish it all off. Birds, look at that. Look at this. Waiting to just devour our banana. It's a cute, alive. Caught red-handed.
What are you looking at?
This bird that's eating our banana.
Come on.
We're going to harvest our bountiful harvest of bananas before the birds finish them off. Yeah, let's go. Almost half of it now is completely ripe, and I'm telling you, the minute you bring it into the house, all of it will be ripe by tomorrow morning. So, okay, the plan is for us to cut down the whole tree, not just the bunch, the whole trunk. I'm so proud of our harvest of bananas, although I do know now, after really just taking time to learn about gardening, you guys are so serious this time, okay? I have realized there are a few mistakes that I made, so there are a few changes that I need to make to improve our next harvest. So I'll be taking you guys along with me, starting I think early next year. We'll see. I have here a kilo of meat. It is minced beef, but I'm telling you guys, I don't know how those guys minced it, because can you see, like, the chunks are looking so big to me. It's like it's not been minced with a regular mincer. I don't know, it just looks strange to me. So anyway, I have 1 kilo of minced beef there. I have eggs, onion, barbecue sauce, because they're barbecue meatballs, okay, oil, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and breadcrumbs. So I want to preheat the oven, because I'm going to bake these. I don't like frying my meatballs. I prefer to just bake them in the oven. So I'll get that going at 200. Yeah. Giving myself 15 minutes to have that done. And then I'm getting my oven paraphernalias, line them so that I can just put the meatballs over here once they're done. So the first thing I want to do is just chop up these onions. And it's so easy because once I've chopped up the onions and put them there, I'll just mix everything together in one bowl. The recipe, you could also use Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan cheese. I think that would come out very well, but I have ran out. So I believe that's still going to be just as tasty. And I want to make them really like big fat meatballs, not the tiny ones. And I don't know why, for some reason, it didn't occur to me that I could use my food processor to further mince this beef. Because as I'm saying, it looks like, I don't know, like it was chopped. You know, there's some butcheries where you go and they actually mince beef using a knife, a very sharp knife. It's very impressive. But then the pieces won't be as small as using a mincer. But for some reason, it did not cross my mind that I could actually put it in the food processor to make it even tinier. But anyway, that's fine. We're here now. Let's keep going. So the thing I know about meatballs is to avoid handling them too much. Just handle them just enough. Because they say if you handle them too much, they become too tough. Personally, I've never experienced that, but I don't want to risk it. So I'm just going to mix it until everything is combined and then stop. And then form them into balls. Simple. This beef, for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's me, but it seems to be still coming together fine, so that's okay. You know, I feel like it's become a bit too dry. Look at that, it's not even coming together. So I'm just going to add an egg because it can only help, it can't hurt. For some reason, either I don't know what's happening because I don't know. I just don't know. So yeah, I really would hate for my breadcrumbs to start falling apart. I mean, not my breadcrumbs, my meatballs. to come out of the oven and start crumbling. So I don't mind adding an egg. So you can tell now. Can you see the difference? It's now it's sticking. So there's that. Simple. Now that's ready. We just form it into balls and then we put it in the oven. The last thing will be to just coat it in barbecue sauce because it's barbecue meatballs. You can just leave them the way they are, but we're going a bit fancy schmancy by forming them into small, by coating them in barbecue sauce. That's a nice size. So these will go into the oven at about 180 to 190 degrees centigrade for between 20 to 25 minutes. I'm always very keen on making sure they're well cooked on the inside. So before I remove them, I make sure they are thoroughly cooked because nobody's joking with salmonella over here. Oh yeah, they're nicely done. Okay, these are well done. They are cooked through and through. This part is completely, you don't have to do this, like you don't have to coat them in barbecue sauce. And again, as we've seen before, you can always make a nice tomato paste and then use this to make like some sort of meatball stew to serve with your spaghetti sauce. But also the barbecue ones are amazing. I love to have this with roast potatoes. Like instead of sausages, this would work very, very well. Again, they freeze very well. So delicious. Also a nice high protein snack. Like if you're looking out to increase your protein intake, you cannot go wrong with this meatball. Yeah, so there you have it. 3 amazing recipes to make with minced beef. And if you'd like to see amazing, fantastic rice dishes, Kenyan rice dishes, check out this video over here and I'll see you over there. Bye.